Remember when landing a data science role felt like gold? When companies were practically begging for data scientists and salaries were through the roof? Well, those days are gone, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why and what you can do about it. You see, in 2020, everyone and their favorite TikTok influencers started selling break-in data courses and promised that you could break into data in only a few weeks. And at the same time, hiring started to go upwards. And big bootcamps popped up everywhere promising you a quick job in data for a hefty price tag. And only a few years later, it's resulted in a flooded job market and a whole new reality for 2026. But don't worry, by the end of the video, you'll know exactly how to navigate this changed landscape and actually land a job in data in 2026. So let's dive in and make sure you're not just another statistic. Let's start out long ago with the golden era of data, which was 2020, 2021. And honestly, this kind of feels like eons ago at this point. Data science, analytics, and machine learning were everywhere. Every company is starting to become data-driven. They're starting to build dashboards and use predictive analytics. And of course, they want to hire so many data analysts and data scientists. And the truth is, a lot of these companies didn't even have the infrastructure and data they needed to support data analysts and data scientists, but they wanted to hire them anyways. And since companies were so desperate to be data-driven and keep up with all the trends, they started hiring very rapidly for entry-level data roles. So job boards were packed with entry-level positions like junior data analyst, junior data scientist, and it was really easy for people to even transition from a completely unrelated field and land their first data job with no prior experience or technical skills. And the salaries were pretty good. Companies were hiring these entry-level people and expecting them to build entire data orgs from ground up, even if companies didn't have the resources, the tools, and the data to support data professionals. Which means that a lot of data roles weren't as clearly defined. It wasn't like a data analyst, a data scientist, a data engineer, kind of like we have nowadays. A lot of times companies would hire one person and expect them to build ETL pipelines, do machine learning models, and build dashboards for stakeholders. A lot of people were just jack of all trades, which is exactly how I started out my career in data. Companies wanted to hire for speed over perfection. Rather than finding the perfect person who had deep expertise in a role, they wanted to hire someone who could start quick and wouldn't be scared to jump into a little bit of everything. So the bar really wasn't as high back then to break into data, and then also throw in that this is right after COVID kind of happened. So a lot of companies aren't really focused on growth. They're focused on like data, product, strategy, and basically building like a launching pad to launch themselves forward in the future. So this led to a lot of aggressive and quick hiring, and they were basically throwing money at people whether they were qualified or not. And this is where it gets really interesting because a lot of people capitalized on this opportunity and really took advantage of the situation. So this is when TikTok is really taking off, and a lot of influencers on there really started pushing data analytics and selling their own courses, whether or not they had a lot of experience. And this also happened on LinkedIn too. I would see people that would make, I'm trying to break into data content, land their first job, and then like 2 months later start selling a course on how to break into data analytics. And this content would go absolutely viral because people would say, do you want an easy work from home job? Do you want to make 6 figures? All you have to do is learn basic SQL, make a few dashboards, boom, you can be a data analyst or a data scientist. And I do actually think that it worked pretty good for a year or two. People did actually land data roles with just a tiny little course that taught surface level skills. And these influencers got rich. And they became the ultimate marketing machine because instead of actually preserving the integrity of the field and teaching like technical content on data analytics and data science, they learned how to market the role very well and convince people that you need to be a data analyst and you need to be a data analyst. And all you have to do is swipe your credit card right here, $250, and you can have the exact dream that I'm selling you. And a little detour to share some tea with y'all, a lot of these influencers actually lie about their education and experience. One of them actually has me blocked on every social media platform, even though I've never once engaged on this person's content. I've never even publicly said anything about them, and they have me blocked on every platform. Kind of sus, right? And this person talks about how they broke into data and moved on up in their career without a technical degree, but they actually have a master's in a STEM field. But guess what? This person actually deleted their master's degree from their LinkedIn profile because they started getting called out by other people on TikTok when they said that they didn't have any technical experience. And people were like, what do you mean you have a STEM master's degree? And they just said, no, I don't, and deleted it from LinkedIn. So it's a little shady to sell people on a dream when you're lying about your own experience and education. And I wish I could say it was just one influencer being dishonest and selling a dream to people, but there's actually multiple. For example, this other influencer who actually says how I landed a 6-figure data analyst role without a degree or tech background. And then you go look at their LinkedIn and they actually have a STEM bachelor's degree and an MBA. And again, I'm not trying to start beef or call anyone out, but it's this deceptive marketing and false promises from influencers that also really contributed to a big influx in entry-level people looking for entry-level roles. And by the way, if you want to get started in becoming a data analyst today, but you feel completely overwhelmed and you don't know what to do and where to start and what skills to learn, grab my free 3-step data analytics roadmap below. I talk about the 3 main things that you need to do to become a data analyst in a clear, practical way. Link is in the description. And this takes us to the inflection point where the bubble pops and the market crashes. There's a huge shift in 2022 in what hiring looks like for really all tech roles. Every time you would go on LinkedIn and just scroll down, it would be massive layoff, massive layoff, massive layoff. Like you could not escape the bad news of layoffs and everybody was feeling very down.
Do I need to be worried?
Maybe.
So instead of the great resignation we saw in 2020, 2021, where everybody was leaving their jobs and job hopping and finding something better for a way bigger salary, we're seeing the opposite. We're seeing people do strategic stays and kind of hunker down in their roles because there's not really a lot of good roles out there and salaries have greatly dropped. Plus the fact that everybody and their mother is being laid off, everybody is so fearful every day logging onto their computer to see if they're locked out or not. I was actually at a company that did layoffs at the time and they told us a month before, hey, we're gonna lay off a third of y'all. That was the worst, most anxiety-inducing month of my life waiting to see if I was laid off or not. I wasn't, but the anxiety I experienced that month waiting to see if I had a job or not was honestly extremely brutal. So during this time period, salaries are dropping drastically. Companies are still being very data-driven, but now they're really investing into data engineers, analytics engineers, people that can build pipelines to support long-term data goals, not just people that can build a quick dashboard and come up with a surface-level insight. Companies are investing more in their long-term data strategy. So data's not dead. They're just looking for more experienced data people with a little bit more data maturity. So the number of entry-level jobs are dropping drastically. Now all the job postings are saying minimum 3 to 5 years, even for entry-level roles. So the demand is very much in the mid to senior level, plus in the more technical sides of data like data engineering, analytics engineering, and even technical data analysts. And analysts that didn't invest in their technical skills and can just do a quick little dashboard are having a really hard time getting a job. Plus the fact that everybody around this time is finishing up their courses and their boot camps, all of these things that promise them if you learn these basic skills, you're gonna get a 6-figure job in 3 months or even 6 months. So there's a huge skills mismatch because companies wanna hire people with more experience and people that are more technical, but people took these surface level skills in boot camps and courses, and it's just not matching up with the roles that companies are hiring for, leaving a lot of people with completed courses and certifications that can't even get a job. And one of my students paid $10,000 for a data analytics boot camp. He learned very surface level skills and couldn't even get a job after spending $10,000 on this boot camp. But luckily he's in my course now and he's having a way better time because he's learning deep SQL skills instead of a little bit of everything like his boot camp. In 2025, we pivoted into a new era, which is where we are now. Because we're in the era of AI, baby, and things are getting really interesting. 2025 is the first year where we actually saw integrated AI tools and agentic AI. We're no longer just using ChatGPT as a quick little chatbot, we're actually using AI to automate tasks and really investing in agentic AI that can actually do end-to-end tasks like an additional coworker. So AI is actually replacing more repetitive and tedious and entry-level tasks. And this is the work that junior analysts and data scientists used to do. Why would you pay a junior data analyst or a junior data scientist when you can actually build an agent to develop basic insights for you, or build a basic dashboard for you, or write a SQL template for you? So AI increased the standards and actually moved the floor up for what is the basic requirement to be a data professional. Because now as data analysts, we can actually work much more quickly and get better results faster. So I just yapped a long time and went through 3 different eras, and you're probably sitting there like, Jess, this sucks. What am I supposed to do now? And don't worry, I got you. When it comes to AI in the 2026 job market, you have to shift away from fear and to empowerment. These are the things you absolutely should do to stand out in 2026 and land your dream data job, whether it's data analytics, data engineering, or data science. First of all, you have to invest in the skills that actually matter. Knowing SQL or Tableau or even building machine learning models is not enough nowadays because AI can actually automate that and build things from scratch in 1 second. So you have to really invest in these 3 skills to stand out. The first is business domain. Find a niche or a business domain that you really relate to and focus on that. Get really good at the business side, learn how to speak the language, and learn how to talk to those stakeholders. An example might be finance or marketing or product. Get really good at a business domain and doing data skills within that business domain, because that is much harder to outsource and replace with AI. Plus, it'll make you stand out from all the other data analysts also looking for jobs right now. The next skill is communication. I don't know if you've noticed, but everybody is so tired of AI slop and just AI garbage everywhere. Everyone is so sick of M-dashes and convoluted sentences going around and round and round, saying a lot without even saying anything. People are tired of surface level AI communication. So your humanity and your human communication is what's really going to help you stand out here. So get really good at communicating data and storytelling data. The last skill you really need to focus on is, of course, AI literacy. Learn how to use AI tools in a lot of different ways. So more than just using it like a chatbot, learn about agentic AI, integrated AI tools, and just implement AI into all of your workflows and let it help you become a quicker and more accurate data professional. Beyond those skills, the next thing you need to do to stand out in this job market is build a really good portfolio. Stop doing the projects that everybody else is doing. Get rid of the Titanic data set, the Iris data set, the COVID-19 data set, and build something unique and specific to your industry. Bonus points if you build a synthetic data set using AI and actually build something literally so custom. I made a video on that, so go check it out. Actually starting out with messy data and solving an actual real business problem is going to set you miles ahead of everyone else. And of course, don't just solve the problem. Talk about any assumptions, limitations, next steps. Go a deeper level with everything you do, because I promise you, hiring managers are so tired of the most basic projects that they've already seen a million times. So do something memorable. The third thing you really need to do is networking and staying relevant. Networking sounds so cliche, but like literally your network is your net worth. It is so true. So you better take your happy little butt to LinkedIn and you better start connecting with people, DMing people, asking for coffee chats, and building up your connections. Bonus points if you actually start posting on LinkedIn and engaging with others and actually getting visibility and getting your name out there. This will help you build a lot of authority and credibility in your field and get a lot of eyes on you. And of course, as always, go to your local conferences and events too, because an in-person connection is always going to be stronger and easier than online. So there you have it. The data science job market has completely changed from 2020, but that does not mean that your dream job is out of reach. If you focus on building the right skills and staying relevant and being adaptable, you can absolutely stand out and still get a data job. And if you're looking for guidance you can really trust, check out my SQL courses and resources below. I've taken everything into account that we talked about today and focused on deep practical skills and real-world projects that hiring managers are actually going to be impressed by. Definitely subscribe for more if you want more tips with no fluff, no hype, just real, honest truth. Sending you lots of big data energy. Bye!